Hi there, welcome back to the 67 Hail Hail channel on YouTube with me, Hamish Carton. I've got John McGinley with me. John, what are we, 48 hours on from the live post-match reaction? How are you feeling in comparison to that?
Yeah, I'm feeling all right. I've had a read of the comments. We'll maybe move on.
Definitely. And it's not just us two as well. As you can obviously see, we've got Jackie McNamara in the middle there as well. Jackie, pretty miserable weekend. There's no other way to put it really, is there?
Yeah, a lot of emotions over the weekend, still there, raw today. I think one's the frustration and anger is probably the two that come to mind from the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we'll just get into it then, guys. Quite simply, I've got all these questions written down, but quite simply, what went wrong, Jackie?
A lot of things. Desire, just all round, I think there's so many things missing from the performance, but before we even talk about shape and tactics. I mean, going into the game, we know how Rangers are going to play. Mm-hmm. We see it every time. Gerrard doesn't change. Very seldom does he change anything. Maybe if he's chasing a game, he maybe put two strikers or put Defoe on and try and go with two strikers. But apart from that, their game plan, there's no... And the frustrating thing is, when we've done well, even under Lenny, we went there to Ibrox last year and won 2-0 by playing a similar system, to them, overloading and catching them, and that's what they do. They're not a good side, and I think that's why we're all frustrated, because everybody always has an opinion of what they're watching and what they're seeing and what the way to try and combat Rangers team. It's the overload the midfield. All our centre-halves, three centre-halves with the ball. I don't want my centre-halves. I said that, last month. I don't want my centre-halves with the ball. I don't watch football, no disrespect, to watch guys passing the ball side back to the goalkeeper and back to the centre-half and across to the other one. Then occasionally try and force one that goes out the park or too long. We actually, as poor as we were, we had the best two chances in the game. Mm-hmm. They had one opportunity. It was cut back to, I think it was Kent, that caught it in a volley for Barisic. Apart from that, El Newfi's got to score, and that was just a simple over the top of the midfield. Goldson gets caught underneath it, and he shins it over the bar. The composure there to finish it. And the second one later on with Griffiths, later on in the game, you expect Griffiths to score that. And he didn't do one or the other. Was he looking for a penalty? They were saying, he's I've listened to Sky Sports saying he was, giving him credit for staying on his feet. But even when he stayed on his feet, was he trying to lay it back in for somebody else to score? That's not Griffiths. Mm-hmm. He's all about goals and scoring, and so there's a lot of things wrong with the team. A lot of things wrong with the shape of the team and the application of the team. Going into tackles and riding tackles or tipping. A lot of times it's like a testimonial match. The pace of it and passing across, I'll get the ball. It just played into their hands, and I think that you're watching it unfolding, going, right, come on, let's make a change. Let's change something here. At half time you're expecting something different. You're looking at, and I know you get players missing. I know different things there, but there's still. You could easily went to a back four. There's no need to play three centre-halves against, effectively all just sit in anyway. It's only in the break, they try and catch in the break with Kent, and they went with a bit more pace, obviously. The other one was Park to try and get into the corners. And you see in the first half, the gaps between the centre-halves and the wing-backs were massive. Laxalt on that side, and Ayer. And you see which led to the first goal, the Sharknabad pass in, they break away, get the free kick, and even the defending the free kick. He's in between the two of them, Duffy and Ayer to start with, then in an offside position, and it goes across. Ayer leaves him, but I still think the keeper should save it. So, I think the frustrating thing is they're not a good side. They're not a good team, but they were made to look. They were organised. The way he organises the game, but you need to combat that, and that's the frustrating thing, because we've done it at Ibrox. Right, if you go back to the Ibrox game 2-0 last year, we won the centre, we put it right down in the left back channel, and we went, right, we're going to toe to toe with you. I remember McGregor getting booked early on, they were going up mad for the tackles. The midfielders getting steamed in, and that was right from the first whistle. So after the weekend, you may think, right, this is going to change now. You know, the next time we're going to be fighting for it, and we go to the next derby.
Yeah, it's not missed there, Jackie. I agree with everything you say. And it's what's worrying is that there is such a stark difference between the team of last season and what we saw on Saturday. And I think you're right about Rangers. You know, individually, I think, you know, as a team, yeah, they're organised and they know what the roles are within the team, and that's a frustrating thing because it just our players just look a bit lost. That's how I felt, Hamish.
Yeah, that kind of sums it up to me. What was our game plan on Saturday? How many times did, you know, McGregor and Cham and Brown actually play short passes and get involved? Our game plan, to me, looking in, and I've spoken in the past about how I'm not a great, you know, tactical analysis kind of thing, but it looked like it was just pass it along, Ayer to Welsh to Duffy, back to Ayer, and then look for a pass to one of the wing backs or just hoof it long. And Rangers just dealt with that. The minute the ball went to either Laxalt or Frimpong, they had their two wing backs, or even sometimes Kamara with Frimpong would go really tight on him and he wouldn't give him room to run at him, basically. And it was just an endless cycle. It was like you compared it to a training game. It was like one of those games at the end of the season when we've already won the league and the players just aren't giving a shit. They're just kind of like, all right, if we don't win this, we don't win this. It was just so frustrating, Jackie.
Yeah, again, but it's not, the game wasn't a surprise how it unfolded. I think you know how they're going to play. They're going to stop. They want everything there. So the way to beat them was going round the sides. So you know, but every time it was touch, and it's out to Frimpong. But then he had two players to beat. You know, the kid is a fullback. You look at the other side, Laxalt's supposed to be a fullback or a winger. So your creativity is coming from your width, because in the midfield they're overloaded. In the midfield, it becomes the three that they had between Davis, Arfield, and Kamara. The other two are sitting back in there and stopping their little threaded pass. The only one that was on it a couple of times was maybe Bruni. But even then, Morelos was going about there and just leaving one in there, one him, or just coming across. And as you said, you're watching it, and it's just infuriating watching the game. But when we did, if you put a quality ball in, they're vulnerable. Yeah. If you get in behind Rangers, they're very, very vulnerable. You look at all the games that we've done well against them and scored against them. Even when you go back to League Cup, the games we lost last year, it Mikey Johnson, which is not a target man. We need a target man that's going to bully their centre halves. You need there, and it's been crying out for it even in the summer. You need somebody in there. If you're going to put up there, I mean, I was fortunate to play with guys like Hearts in there who would bully them and just cement it and pin them down. Sutton and Larsson's movement. You put it up as a fullback. We can go in there and play that as that, but I know if I can just stick one over the top of their midfielder, and it stretches the game. The whole midfielder step back, but their job became so easy. I mean, the world beaters, you know, and that's again the really frustrating piece watching the game, because there wasn't any surprises, but it took too long to change it. It took too long to. I know he's not got out and out wingers. You know, there's players missing, but you look at the lads that we're missing. Who would have started that would have made a difference? Edouard, possibly, yeah. I'd give you Edouard, because you seen it in the cup final. We couldn't get up the park. The same, they battered us in the cup final. Fraser Forster saved us in the cup final. We saves. The keeper at the weekend didn't. But when he put Edouard on in the cup final, the game changed in a second. Into goals, and we win the free kick, and Julian scores with the volley of the free kick when it comes into the box. That's the difference. You know, the ball sticking up there. Sometimes, you have to go and just clip a few in there, or turn them, or get in behind and stretch a game and get them running back towards their own goal, because it was comfortable for them. You know, but there's no surprises. That's the way they play. You know, they play like they're playing in Europe. They're organised there. We're going to be hard to beat there. So you go and match that. Go and go toe-to-toe like we did at Ibrox. Go and toe-to-toe with them. Win your battles, win your win. Because no matter in football, the simple things there in football, if I'm up against someone if I'm playing right back or centre midfield, and I know who my man is, I'm getting the better of you today. And all over the park, who was up against who, and that, you know, that's the fundamental bits before anything else. Who won their 1v1 battles, who got at somebody, you know, and tried to make a difference.
I think that's right, and I think, you know, that's why I don't buy the excuses of the players being out, because as good as the excuses are, I don't think they legislate for what happened and what happened in those fundamental, simple moments. I think it's clear to see what we've all seen on the pitch, Jackie. But one of the things you can give us an insight on is what the aftermath of a defeat like that is like at Celtic. Now, you've obviously had your fair share of derby victories, but you had derby losses too. What is it like inside the dressing room? How do this team pick themselves back up from this now? Because essentially that's the most important thing now.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think that's, you know, we spoke over the last couple of months about, you know, they keep playing catch up and everything else, and always confident, and I still am. I still think we've got enough there to win the league. We've still got to play them 3 times. You know, we're still in October. We've got a long, long way to go, but there's a lot of things that need to be put right. A lot of things there. The players you're hoping that have been hurting as much as the rest is after the weekend, that the biggest thing, they've got a chance to make history. We're so lucky.
Do you think they'll be turning up at Lennoxtown? What would the mood be like? Will it be anger? Will it be frustration within themselves? Will it be just a malaise? Like, I know you're not within that group of players, but I mean, what will they be thinking about as they get back to work on the training ground?
Well, you're hoping that the professionals have got another big game on Thursday. Mm-hmm. You know, you should want to play in that. Mm-hmm. Should have wanted to play last Saturday. And the little things that you're looking for the outside in, right? How in October the 17th have we got players in there that are not fit yet? Yeah. You know, we've got sports scientists, you've got medicals, you've got guys taking there, you've got the coaches. How are they not fit on the 17th of October? In a year like this year? And how long they've been off for lockdown and desperate to play football? You know, even us watching it, but for them to actually play and go, you know, if anything, for some of them, it gives them a little insight to what it's like for like guys like myself that can't play anymore. Mm-hmm. You know, that actually miss playing football. Mm-hmm. You know, it's I think that's the kind of anger in it. You go, why you not be fit? Why you not ready? Why you not? You know, I'd love to be played. You'd love to be out there, and that's what it's like when you're watching it. And that's the fallout from that game. But I still believe we've got the people there to do it. It's a wake up call. Got plenty of time, plenty of games to do it. You know, got a game in hand that'll put us a point behind them before. But we need to improve in a lot of things. You know, Lenny will take the hit because he's a manager, and you know, a lot of things will fall at his door. But he's got coaches and your backroom staff, but the players there as well that need to be fit. First and foremost, they should be fit. You know that. Very, very disheartening.
Yeah, there's a lot of players in that team that seem to be or have been out for a long time. You know, Christopher Julian doesn't seem to be anywhere near getting back to the first team. I don't know if I'm going over the top here, but Mikey Johnson seems like we've been told for months and months that he's, you know, just round the corner. No chat about him at all. Rogic, Griffiths, I know they've come on the last couple of games, but how long does it take them to get up to speed? There's other players that have just gone out of the fold altogether. There's a lot happening at the club at the moment, and a lot of it probably isn't pretty or isn't good at all. I hope you don't mind me saying, Jackie, you're hurting, aren't you? You're frustrated by what happened on Saturday.
I just said that. I think you're watching it as somebody else. You want. For me, I wish I was playing in it. You know, and that's what I'm saying with these guys. For the number of months they've not. You know, it gives them a wee insight to what it's like when you can't go and do something you love. You know, they've got an opportunity there. Fantastic football club to go in there. The very least is fitness. You know, and I just can't get my head around it. I can't get my head around why they can't. I know Rogic was possibly was close to moving. I didn't. It kind of broke down there. But it's October, so if he did move, was he not fit enough to go and play at the other team? Griffiths, obviously they all committed last year, and the club's been unbelievable for him. He's been a good player and good goal scorer for the club, but he should be fit. He should not turn up to whatever when they turned up to pre-season games, or not in the right shape. He should have been out doing stuff. Should have been fit. It's the fundamentals of being a football player.
Yeah.
And as a manager, come in and go, well, he's not fit. He's not fit. He's not fit. They're going to war on Saturday. They're going into war.
Didn't look like it.
No.
Yeah.
No, and
Right.
that's the basics.
Cool. I think we'll leave it there for today then, guys. We've got another chat later on in the week. We're going to speak a bit about Neil Lennon and just see where we think that will take us over the next wee while. Jackie, John, thanks very much. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Tough, these videos to do, but I think it's important that we do them and we tell things how it is. If you've not yet managed to subscribe to the channel, please do so. It'd be really appreciated. Click the wee bell as well so that you don't miss out on any future videos, and we'll speak to you soon.